All right, let's talk about Lamar Jackson. Let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens and why they've struggled in this one against the Buffalo Bills. The Bills have a great defense. They were able to shut down the Ravens for the most part. Well, the Ravens did get off to a hot start. A lot of it was due to their defense. So let's talk about just what went wrong in this game for the Ravens offense and really what the Bills defense was able to do to shut them down. How good is this Bills defense? Let's get into all of it. So first we have this play. It's going to be a cover 2 zone, and you have Mark Andrews running a route where he's just going to try to get into a gap in this zone coverage. This has kind of been the bread and butter of the Ravens offense over the past, well, really since, the Lamar and Mark Andrews era had begun. Look at how when this play begins, Lamar is going to look in that direction, and it's kind of open. I mean, it's a risk if you make this throw, right? I actually would advise not to make this throw. I think this is well covered. This feels like it'd be a massive risk to try and make it. So Lamar, I think, is doing the correct thing by saying, okay, well, let's try to find something else then if that's not open. The issue is pass rush has really been getting there for Buffalo. Lamar is going to end up getting sacked, doesn't even have a chance to scramble out or anything. He just gets hit right there. So, quick pressure along with good coverage, that's just going to kill a quarterback every single time. So can't blame Lamar Jackson on that one. And honestly, I don't know if you can really blame the Ravens too much as a whole. Maybe you could say the offensive line could have protected a little better, but still, you're going up against good players. Mark Andrews ran a good route, just Buffalo was prepared. Buffalo's defense is good. Sometimes you got to tip your cap to the defense. However, there were also situations like this one where it's going to be a zone coverage play. It's a cover 3 zone, and you have Rashad Bateman running a route that's going to try to get into a gap in coverage. So, okay, relatively similar to that last play, but something very different is going to happen this time. Watch Lamar take the snap, and Lamar is going to eventually look towards his left, and you see right here, there's a window to make this throw. There's a big window to make this throw. This is what should be a completion. But instead, Lamar's throws a bit behind, and Bateman does not make the grab right there, and that's just one that they have to complete. So, while yes, there were elements of the Bills' offense was playing great, there absolutely were, also the Ravens beat themselves. And when you're playing a great defense, you can't beat yourself. You have to be able to really, do well if you're going to, you have to hit the moments when they're there, and Baltimore wasn't really able to do that on top of not having too many moments in general. Like going over to this play now, so it's going to happen here is it's going to be, again, it's a zone coverage play, and to have a little zone buster that can beat this coverage, Mark Andrews is once again going to be the guy who's trying to get open. The way this play works is you have a receiver who's lined up all the way to the right, closest towards the sideline. He's going to be running a go route that pushes a defensive back further deep. You then have Mark Andrews, who's going to kind of basically get into that area that has now been cleared out. That's what you're trying to do here. Watch, Lamar takes a snap, he looks in that direction, and there definitely is a window to make this throw. Not a huge window, this is not an easy throw to make, but it's one that, I think you expect Lamar to make. But Lamar throws it very off balance, which I don't know why he did it, and he overthrew it. And to me, I do question why Lamar, I'll show the play again, why Lamar kind of threw it not getting his feet planted. Listen, I get Lamar is an incredible athlete. I get Lamar has great, typically does have good footwork and is someone who can throw off balance if he has to. But if you don't have to, then don't throw off balance potentially. So maybe he just shouldn't have done that. But as a whole, these are just, again, examples of the Ravens uncharacteristically beating themselves in this one. And if you continue to beat yourselves, well, against a team like Buffalo, even if your defense is shutting them down, they're going to find ways to get their offense rolling. You can't let that happen. I mean, really, I think that this loss was kind of on the Ravens' offense and their inability to, hit the opportunities that were there, because there wasn't a ton, but there were opportunities, and the Ravens missed them. Like this one's another example of, again, an opportunity that is there, where what's going to happen here, this is the concept that I've been raving about how the Ravens have finally figured out. It's a cover 1 blitz, so you got to find someone who can beat who can win a one-on-one matchup, and Bateman has been that guy so far 3 weeks in. He was the guy who they were looking towards, and I thought that really meant a lot for this Ravens offense. Now, typically the way that this play works is, due to the blitz and due to the man coverage, kind of part of what helps a defense in this situation against Lamar Jackson is you're almost forcing him to get rid of the ball quickly. And that's why we've seen, you're getting the ball out of Lamar Jackson's hands, pretty much always a good thing. But the issue, of course, is that it can leave you vulnerable in the coverage department, which, in past years hadn't been that big of an issue with the Ravens, but in this year, maybe is a bit more of an issue with the Ravens. Largely due to Bateman's development, I would say. He's running a route that's good against this coverage, and watch what's going to happen. I mean, look, he starts this route, and, he's not open. He's wide open. This is a great route. He's put himself in a good position to succeed, and so this is why maybe I would say I'm not concerned with the Ravens long-term. Not that I would have been, even if they looked horrible, because it's one game. But, I don't have any major concerns about the Ravens long-term. They were still able to get guys open at times and have success. It's more so about capitalizing on their chances, and they just didn't do a great job of that in this game, whereas usually they do a great job at that. I mean, look, Lamar's throw again. It's a bit far, but also could have been caught and was not. So who do you want to put the blame on? I'd probably put more to blame on Lamar on this one, even though I am a huge Lamar fan. Listen, that's how I view it, but I think you could argue either one, but still, that's a mistake. Now, going over to this play, this is definitely one that I think got the most attention. I don't think this is really Lamar Jackson's fault too much, but you could argue it is his if you wanted to. Also about the situation itself. So it's a tie game late in the fourth. The Ravens are going for it here, which I actually like the call. I get the logic on both ends of, yes, you can just take the lead, but also, being up 7 does help you more than being up 3, and there's a good chance that you do convert here. So, yes, you have Justin Tucker, you'll almost certainly make the field goal, but a touchdown helps you a lot more and also, if you don't get it, there's the whole field position aspect of it. The analytics said to go for it. I get both sides. I wouldn't have crushed them if they kicked the field goal, but I typically side with the analytics on this stuff, so I probably would have gone for it. But that being said, at the end of the day, players have to execute their plays. And what's happening here is Devin Duvernay is going to try to get into a gap in coverage kind of at the corner of the end zone here, and he's going to. Look at how just Buffalo doesn't pick him up at all. He is wide open. There is an easy opportunity to get a touchdown. What's the issue? Lamar Jackson isn't looking in that direction. That's the issue. Lamar Jackson was looking towards someone else. That's not an insult for Lamar. You have to pick a read pre-snap and look in that direction, and he was looking for Mark Andrews, which is totally understandable. Andrews, like I said, that's kind of been the bread and butter of this offense, so making that your first read, I totally get. Lamar's going to bide some time. He gets flushed back. He eventually sees it, but, a defender was able to get over there and get the interception. An interception, it still helped because it was able to push the ball, 18 yards forward, so it helped field percentage-wise. But, at the end of the day, it's fourth down. You do make that throw. You risk the interception to try and get the touchdown. That's the correct decision for Lamar to make. So you could criticize him by not reading that Duvernay was open quicker, but to me, that's football. That happens. You could do that with every quarterback in every game. There's going to be plays where guys are open where he wasn't looking. That's just the nature of the sport. I tend to not get on guys for that too much. Granted, I do think it's fair to say Lamar, he had a bad day. Again, from his standards, I think that he had a bad day. I think the offense had a bad day as a whole, and they were playing a great defense who, didn't give them too many opportunities. So, if you miss on, half your opportunities, but only get 10 opportunities, well then, yeah, your offense is going to look rough. The Ravens need to figure out how to play in the fourth quarter, it seems like, because, they're great at getting leads. Weird scenario happening there. I think they'll be fine, though. I think it's just kind of, a couple games the way it broke down. But that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What were your thoughts on Lamar and his day in this one? Always love hearing from you. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.